to part 2 of Claim Your Destiny with our special guest, John Leslie Brown, international motivational speaker, as well as success coach and a true destinypreneur. So, if you're joining us for part 2, you got a chance to hear some of the powerful things Mr. Brown was telling us about what it means to claim your destiny and move into a life of your making instead of just focusing on making a living. And so one of the most poignant points that you made in the last broadcast, Mr. Brown, was really about being overqualified for the position you're in and being underpaid. That's powerful. How have people just decided to kind of give up and fall into those roles, and what can they do to step out of it?
Well, yes, we have shifted from a domestic economy to a global economy, where we went from competing against people that were in our same neighborhoods to being blown out of the water from the competition across the world, overseas. Because of technology, it's expanded competition. And what has happened, a lot of people who got good grades, went to college, got out of college, and did not know what to do with their skills, did not know how to connect with an organization where they could actually truly be happy as well as make a living. And so sometimes people say, hey, I have friends that went and they got master's degrees, and they're like, okay, what do I do now? Now I have debt. And I still don't know really what I want to do in life. And that's, to me, is one of the saddest things when you come out of an educational center and you still don't know anything about yourself. And so many people, they do what's convenient, they do what's close by, and they settle in positions that make them ashamed of who they could have been if they weren't in those positions. I'm sure you've experienced that as well, right?
Wow, I love being called out. Yes, actually I have. I one of the biggest things that stands out to my mind is that I remember after completing my tour on active duty, because I was a United States Marine, as the whole world knows by now, but I had a conversation with someone maybe like 2 days ago, and we were talking about the transition of, leaving active duty and coming back. And I remember after getting off of active duty, because I felt like at one point that was my destiny, that it was my destiny to serve my country, and there was no greater good that I could do. And I remember getting out and feeling so insignificant, like I could never do anything greater than be a United States Marine. And I remember feeling kind of like that was it for me, that's it. So I just kind of decided to be stagnant, and I went to college, and I got the degrees that you talked about. I got the bachelor's and I got the master's, but I remember just feeling insignificant, like, my destiny was gone, and that I had never had a hold on my destiny, and how would I ever change my life? How could I make my life bigger and better? And I remember settling into these different jobs where I was like a rock star. I came in and I did it, and I did the basic things that most people didn't do, so it made me look better than everyone else. And so they were like, man, she works so hard. And to me, it's like that's what you do. But I remember feeling empty. I remember feeling lost. I remember feeling like I was just going through the motions, and after a while I was so bored and miserable. So I can absolutely relate to what you're saying about being overqualified for a position and being underpaid. And looking at my bank account and looking at my work and being like, these two don't match up. Like, this is not cool. I can't do anything that I really want to do. I can't go on the vacation I want. I can't buy the gifts that I want to buy for the people I love. I couldn't invest in more things. I just didn't have enough resources, and I didn't have no more time. And it just didn't make any sense. So I get it.
Yes, and I get it too. I get it too. I mean, my first paycheck was for a major speaking engagement. It was for $2,500. So I started making $2,500 an hour at 14. But
okay, at 14, okay. I was happy to have a 20.
Right. But as I got older, and when I decided that I did not want to necessarily be a keynote speaker, and I ventured out in different things, and I got offered money that regular people get, you know, like, you know, and I was like, oh no, this is not my destiny. Hold on a second, what can
And
I
when you
do?
say regular people, I want to clear that up because I don't want
I'm
anybody to think any
sorry.
kind of way. When you say regular people, those are the people who have settled and decided that they're going to accept what life gives them. They're going to accept the minimum wage or accept, you know, the day-to-day that
Yes.
you can trade my time for money. And we don't trade time for money when you're a destinypreneur.
Yes, because as you and I both know, we learned from Mr. Brown that you don't get paid by the hour, you get paid based on the value that you bring to the hour. And so we have to look at what can we do to start to get some results that everybody else is not getting. I don't want the life that everybody else has. Status quo won't do it for me. I would like everything to be unique about me. Is that too much to ask for? I have got a unique fingerprint, unique hair follicles. Can I just have a unique life, a unique dream, a unique destiny, something that the world has not seen before, something that's new and fresh? And to me, each and every one of us, we have a purpose. We have a reason why we were born. It's just not just because your parents thought each other were cute. No, that's not it. Okay, there's a reason why we are here. And once you find your purpose, you stop being regular people. Once you find your purpose, you create something that's called a destiny. And doors will open for you. Ideas will come to you. Resources will be available to you that were unavailable to previous generations. We are here today because just one generation before us, they took hold and they decided to claim their destiny so that we can have the opportunity to see women like you come from the Marines and make a big difference.
Well, thank you for that. And I definitely agree when it comes to generations. You know, your father has transformed the world. I mean, who doesn't know Les Brown? And everybody who didn't know Les Brown, they see one of those YouTube clips that have gone viral across the world. Those dream videos, people have taken his message and just created it and changed it and manifested it and made it bigger and bigger so that everyone can have a part of this dream, of this vision of having a life that's not regular. I remember seeing one of the little meme things on Instagram, and it was like, it was traffic, and it looked like LA traffic. I know you just got back from LA, so it looked like the 405 or something, like serious, and it was so much traffic, and it said, you know, I don't want to be normal. Normal is getting up and getting dressed in clothes that you bought for a job that you have to go to pay for a house that you never spend time in, and you drive a car that you can't enjoy because you're busy paying for the house. And it was just all of these different things, and it was like, is that what we really want? I remember going, when I went to college, I didn't go to college to have that life so that I can be that person who had no idea what purpose was in life, be bored, be on YouTube or Facebook at the job on the people's dime, pretending to work, pretending to care, and not really producing anything for anyone. And I know some of my friends that are doing that. I'm not going to say no names because they still work for some of these companies. But I remember being that person on Sunday being so miserable thinking about how I could not go to work, to my job, because I just didn't have it in me. Like, it was like my soul, my spirit, my energy was gone. I
Yes.
started out just at such a high level, and then I got to the churn and burn part of the movement, and I was burnt out. And you mentioned something in our last episode when you talked about claiming your destiny. When you claim your destiny, you don't get burnt out on life.
No. No. You know why? Because your destiny is timeless. You see, when you were feeling that churn and burn feeling, when you were burnt out, it wasn't that that Monday was going to be so harsh on you. It was that Monday 5 or 10 years from now that you could turn and think about. It is the continuation of being in a position that you know, I just cannot be end up like this. This cannot be the sum of my life. And I believe that a lot of people believe that destiny is a myth. I believe that people that submit to the idea that our thoughts don't impact our reality and our decisions cannot change our life, I'm thoroughly convinced that if I make a decision right now, at the end of this year, my life doesn't have to go, I don't have to go into 2015 looking the same way I did in 2014, as you have said in your Google Hangouts. That we are not the victims of reality. We are the masters of our own destinies if we choose to utilize certain techniques. And one of the clear techniques about how do you stop being in a position where you're overqualified and underpaid, the first thing that you've got to do is you've got to communicate your greatness, not just to others, but to yourself. Because if you don't value yourself more, if you don't know your own self-worth, then you can't blame others for trying to discount who you are.
So when you say to really own that for yourself, it's not that easy sometimes. You know, I think of myself and anybody watching this, it's not that easy to communicate your greatness even to yourself. When you look at everything that you've done and all the hard work you do, and all the networking you do, and all of the hustle you do, and your hustle, you know, your hustle starts to match your heartache, and all of the giving you do, and all the helping you do, and it's not enough. Like, your bank account, it doesn't look right. People aren't really feeling you the same way that they thought they would feel you. They were gonna feel you. They tuning out to your dream because you were so hyped up about it, and then it didn't take off as fast as they would have liked. So they sold you out, and they jumped on a different ship and a different bandwagon. And you looking at your phone, you know, and you're looking at your phone and you realize, like, I don't have anybody to call. I don't have anybody that's going to get this. And when I try to tell people, when I'm making that call of, hey, you know, I got this going on or that going on, they're like, oh, well, it's worse things in the world, or, oh, don't worry about it. You could just go get this job, and you have these qualifications, and they're hiring down at the KFC, so, you know, or you can go and it's like, man, should I settle? Should I be able to do that? Because at the end of the day, like, maybe they're right. You know, maybe it's time for me to kind of put up this, throw in the towel to this whole thing called destiny and, you know, try something else.
And that's why destiny is not for everybody. You know, when I think about what it takes, because usually when you get to that breaking point, people stop claiming their destiny and they start claiming their disaster. When you've had some things go wrong, some major deals, let me tell you, I've had some major deals, life-changing deals that fell through. And I wondered how on earth could my life even be valid anymore? And let me tell you, I've already forgot those deals. Okay? So it's not that serious. I've already forgot them. But I remember during the time I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to cry about it. I didn't want to talk to anybody that wouldn't let me cry about it. I wanted to sulk in it. I wanted to crawl around and wallow in my own defeat because I thought that if the universe pitied me enough, then maybe something would change. Maybe if God noticed how hard of a time that I was having, then he would send something else my way. No, God put us on this planet with a purpose, but it's up for us to claim our destiny. You are not just trying to reach a destination. Every day reveals new opportunities for you to define who and whose you are. And so what I am on the new kick of, and my new motto, in order to claim your destiny, in order to balance it all, how do you take care of the kids, build your brand, and run your business and meet payroll? How do you do it? Well, you have to do something that we learned from the internet, and this is increase your bandwidth.
So I got two key points. I don't want to like breeze over these.
Okay.
The first thing is be able to communicate your greatness, and I definitely get that. You know, I always like to be transparent because sometimes people see us, they see speakers, they see coaches, and they're like, oh, well, they're not going to get it because they're the exception, not the example of what can happen. So you were able to effectively learn to communicate your message. You learned how to snap on them. You know, you learn how to create that super change in the way that you communicate it to people so that they wanted to continue to interact with you and go to that next level with you. Then the second part is
increase your bandwidth.
Increasing your bandwidth. So as we get ready to close out this session and we go to the next session, when you talk about increasing your bandwidth, what does that mean? And just quickly, a quick overview. How can people start to increase their bandwidth when they're in a state of overwhelm?
Uh, well, that's very key. Number one, to increase your bandwidth means, guess what? You don't use 8-track technology in the days of iPod, okay? So, number one, you gotta utilize the tools that we have currently in order to make your life simpler. Number two, be willing to take on more. I told myself, Candace, that I was only a speaker. I can only speak from the front of the stage. I did not know that I could negotiate deals. I did not know that I could produce. I did not know that I could edit footage. I did not know that I could build websites. I did not know that I could do much more than I told myself. So whatever you're telling yourself your expertise is, develop in 3 new areas. Develop expertise in 3 new areas that you did not have it, and watch yourself grow. In the book called Mindset, they talked about 2 different types of mindsets. One is the fixed mindset, where you believe that if you don't have the natural ability, then it wasn't meant to be. They believe that effort is a sign that you're probably not going in the right area. Oh no, this is not my destiny because I have to work too hard. Oh no, this is not my destiny because I have to be held accountable. Oh no, this is not my destiny because it hurts. Let me tell you something. If people only reached destinies that were comfortable, then no one would achieve any goals, okay? And when we talk about increasing your bandwidth, we're talking about learning whatever it takes, disciplining yourself, taking the time to develop new skill sets to make yourself more valuable in this global economy.
Wow. And on that note, to be more valuable in the global economy is a powerful note to leave off on. I want you guys to tune back in for part 3, our final session with Mr. Brown. And as we go into part 3, think about this. Think about what is it that you're holding back. Mr. Brown just opened up the arsenal as far as holding ourselves accountable and being able to step outside the box to see what it is we really want, and being able to acknowledge that sometimes we aren't communicating our greatness to ourselves. So how can you claim a destiny that you have not yet embraced? So catch us here. We'll be here for part 3, the wrap down, the final knockout with the final conversations from the boss himself, John Leslie Brown. Thank you so much for joining me here. And Mr. Brown, are we going to catch you again here shortly?
Yes, thank you. Can't wait for the 3rd session.
All right, guys. Catch us on the 3rd session. Sending you love and light to the universe.